In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the pre-made templates that come with Cover Action Pro 3.0. So I've already downloaded the templates here, and if you haven't yet downloaded them yet, you can just go to the membership website and make sure you're clicking on the download section here, and then just scroll all the way down to the very bottom, and you'll find the 50 pre-made templates right here, and just click on the download link, and it's a pretty good size file, so it just might take a few minutes to download that file. So I already have the zip file that I've downloaded from the site. So what I'll do is just go ahead and double click on that to extract it, which is probably the same on Windows. And or you can just right click on it and choose an expand method from the flyout menu, whichever way works best for you. I'll just go ahead and double click on this to expand it. All right, so I've expanded that and I have my CAP3 templates folder right here. I'll go ahead and go inside this folder and we can see all the templates inside here. And what I'm going to do here is just, I'm going to view and browse these templates using the Adobe Bridge. An easy way to access the Adobe Bridge is to open up Photoshop and then come right up here where it says File and choose Browse in Bridge. And then the bridge should appear. As soon as it's open, I'm going to come over here and over on the Folders tab and go to my desktop because this is where I've saved all the Cover Action Pro files. And then I'll just come down here where it says CAP3 templates and click on that folder and we can view the templates. And I can use this little slider on the very bottom of the bridge here to make these thumbnails larger or smaller if I want to. And I like the flexibility and the customizable features in the Adobe Bridge. I can see more file information. I can see the dimensions and the size of the file right underneath the thumbnail here. So that just makes it really nice and convenient. But let's pick out a template here that we're going to use for this video. So let's just browse through here. I kind of like this Get Hooked right here. Let's go ahead and open this up into Photoshop. Now you can double click on this inside the Adobe Bridge and it'll open up into Photoshop, or you can also just right click and choose Open With, and then I'll select which version that I would like to open it up with. I have more than one version installed, so I'm just going to select CC 2017. Okay, great. I'm going to hold down Command 0, which will fit the template to the screen, making it as large as possible. That's Command 0 on Windows. And all right, so here is the template. Now, the first thing that I recommend is just to familiarize yourself with this template. Go to the Layers palette and just kind of browse through and look at all the layers and see how it's created, and look at the different shapes and objects that are included on the template. You can see we have some different shape layers here, and we have a background texture and the background. So just familiarize yourself a little bit with how it's created, and then that way when you start to customize it, you know, you're already ready to go. Now, the very first thing you're probably going to want to do is change the text on the template to fit your own project or to fit your own book cover. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do, and I'm going to show you how to change the color of the type and the text, and how to change the color of different objects and backgrounds for these templates. So there's several ways to select the type layers in Photoshop and on these templates. What you can do is you can select the type tool on the toolbar over here. It's the horizontal type tool, and you can actually click directly right on the text in the template, and then you're going to get a little blinking cursor, and then the template will also be underlined here, letting you know that you've activated it and it's ready for editing. After you click on it, you can easily just select the wording and the letters here. I can just click over here at the end and just select the whole word and then type in my own text if I want to. So we can call this Get Started. And then I'll need to confirm that after I've finished entering my own text. And there's a couple ways you can confirm it. You can press the Enter key on the keyboard, or you can also come up here on the options bar and this little check mark here, which will confirm that type layer. So I'll just go ahead and click that. And there we go. And I can just click on this text over here below that, and I can select the text, but I can also I can also click and drag when I'm selecting the text on a template. So for an example, this text up here at the very top, I can just bring my type tool over on the very end of that and just click and drag at the same time. And now I can just move over and select that text. For some reason, you've selected a type layer or you've selected a piece of text on the template, but maybe you change your mind, or maybe you've modified it and you just want to get it back to the previous version or the previous state that it was. Easy way to do this is just to cancel, and you can cancel out of that by clicking on this little cancel button right here on the options bar, and that'll make that selection go away, and then you can continue editing the template. But I just wanted to note that when you've selected some type on the template, you're going to have to cancel out of that before you use any of the other tools and features in Photoshop. So it's basically set up at this moment to say, okay, well, you're in the middle of editing text, so I want to make sure that you cancel out of that or confirm the text before you do anything else. So just a little tip there. A lot of people will select the text and then they'll come over here and try to do something else, and it just gets a little bit confusing. Or they'll select an option up here and Photoshop will prevent you from continuing. So just make sure to confirm or cancel any of the changes while you have the text selected. So I'm going to come up here and just cancel out of that. There we go. Other ways to select text on the template is just to use the move tool on the toolbar. So you can come over here and select the move tool, and then you can right click on the text. So if I just hold the pointer over the text and then right click, Photoshop will highlight the layer that the text is on, and then if I click on that, it'll jump right to that layer on the layers palette for me. So in other words, the author's name down here at the bottom, if I right click on that, it's going to say, okay, well, this is, here's the layer. And if I select that, you can see Photoshop just jumps right to that layer. So I can do anything that I want with it. I can double click on it now and I can see that I'm selecting this, and I can go ahead and edit that type layer. Easy as that. So I'll go ahead and cancel. And then, so what about if you want to change the color of the type layers? This is really easy to do, pretty straightforward as well. So let's just say that we wanted to change the color of this text here at the very top that says Get. And it looks like to me that the Get is on two separate layers. When this was designed, I think the T was on a separate layer here, just so that would fit a little bit better next to the E. And that's okay, because what I'm also going to show you how to do is how to change the color of multiple type layers at once. But for now, let's go ahead and I'm going to select the Move tool on the toolbar, and I'll just right click on the G here, and I can see that's highlighting the GE on this menu. So I'll go ahead and select that. Photoshop will jump to that layer there, letting me know that this is the layer that I want to edit. And that's great. Now, after that type layer is selected, in order to get the options for this type layer and for this text, I'll need to select the type tool on the toolbar. And then as soon as I select that type tool, you're going to see the type options up here on the options bar. And you're going to see a little color box. And of course, the color box is red because the type is also red. So if I click on that color box, it's going to open up the color picker, and this will allow me to just move around and select different colors within the color spectrum to totally customize the color. And when I have it, when I want it, when I like it, I'll just go ahead and click OK. Now the T is still red. So what we can do is just click on the T layer here, and then I'll come up here on this color box on the options bar, click on that. It'll bring up the color picker, but instead trying to figure out the blue that matched the other blue, what I can do is just bring my mouse pointer outside of the color picker. This will change into a eyedropper tool and allow me to select a color, another color inside of the template somewhere. So even if I click on this red over here and on this object, it's going to change that to red. But I want it to blend in with this blue that we've just created. So I'll just click on the blue somewhere, and you can see that change and match up with the rest of the word there. So that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. All right, so well, what else can we do here? Let me show you how you can change the color of more than one type layer. So all you have to do is just select more than one type layer. You can hold down the Shift key, or you can hold down the Command key, which is the Control key on Windows. And I've already got one type layer selected. So if I hold down the Command key, I can select the GE here. So we've selected the entire word. And then I can come up here on the options bar and re-click on that color box there. And then the color picker will appear, and I can change this. We can make it purple or yellow. I'm not really sure which color here, guys, but let's just go ahead and choose a color. How about this green? So it's really noticeable. Now you'll notice when I'm selecting the color, the text is not being updated in real time. When you have more than one type layer selected in Photoshop, you'll need to confirm on the color picker window first. And as soon as I do that, then you're going to see the changes being applied. Okay, so awesome. All right, well, let's see what else we can change here. We have some shapes down here. Looks like these are little speech bubbles. And let's go ahead and modify these as well. Now to select these, or an easy way to locate and find these, we can use the Move tool, or we can simply come over to the Layers palette and browse through all the layers. Here's a shape group right here, so it's probably inside here. But it looks like I have more than one layer that's red. And it may be a little bit difficult if you're working with a template or a document with several layers. Then just use the Move tool to right-click and identify and select the layers from there. So let's just go back to the Move tool. I'm going to go ahead and select that on the toolbar. And then I'll come back over to the document, and then I will just right-click on this little color, little speech bubble here. And Photoshop will tell me, okay, this is rounded rectangle number 1. So I'll go ahead and select that. And then it jumps right down here. And the cool thing about shape layers, which most of the templates that are included with Cover Action Pro and the designs, most of them are created with shape layers. This means that the vector and they're basically non-destructible. So if you ever wanted to resize these layers using the transformation tool, when you resize them and then size them back up or down, they're going to retain their original quality. And so what I'm going to do here, really the easiest way to change the color of one of these shape layers, and you know it's a shape layer because you see the little shape layer icon at the bottom right corner of the thumbnail here. And you can just double click on the thumbnail. And when you do that, the color picker just comes right up on the screen. So you can select a different color here. And as soon as you do that, you can see the color change in real time on the template. Now, if you have another color in the template that you would like to match the object to, or the object that you're editing, you would like to make sure the colors match together. Let's say the green color up here, I can just move my mouse outside of the color picker and then go ahead and select the green on the get word, and then you can see the green being applied to that speech bubble there at the bottom. But it looks like there's another shape here, and that doesn't quite look right. I'm still showing red there to complete this bubble. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click OK. And let's bring the Move tool over here, and I'm going to right-click on this shape here on the template, and this says it's shape 1. Let's go ahead and select that. Photoshop's already highlighted that for us. And there you go. It jumps right to the shape right here. And if I'm really not sure if that's the right shape or not, you can always turn this layer off and then turn it back on, or control the visibility by clicking on this little icon just to the left of the thumbnail. And so if I turn that off, you can see that just makes it disappear. And then if I turn it on, it reappears, just to kind of confirm that I'm on the right layer here. I don't want to get confused and edit another layer. I've done that several times, but I'm going to double click on the thumbnail here for this shape layer. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to get this color picker, and then I will select, use my eyedropper tool right here, and I will select the green, and there you go. It just matches that up perfectly. And so those are some ways you can edit the shape layers in Photoshop for the different objects that are on the templates. Now, when you're working with these templates, you might find different backgrounds that are behind the text and everything. Let's come down here and I see I have a texture background. Okay, and I'm just turning this on and off so we can see where that texture is and which layer that I'm on. Now, to change the color of a background, I'll be showing you how to do this also on another or later template during this video. But if you would like to modify or change the texture of any layer or change the color of any layer, what you can do is make sure you have that layer activated and then come up here to Image and down here to Adjustments and then select Hue and Saturation. Now, if this layer has no color information, like let's say it's black and white, well, by adjusting the saturation and the hue, you're really not going to see much happening there because there was no color information to begin with. But to colorize any of the layers in Photoshop that are not shape layers, that are not vector layers or paths, what you can do is just click on this colorize button right here, and then you can turn up the saturation, you can lower the lightness a little bit, and you can move this hue slider around and adjust and modify the color of this, just like that. Pretty dramatic. I don't know. It doesn't look that pretty, but I'm just showing you how you can dramatically and quickly change the color of this. I probably wouldn't want to leave it like this, but after you've adjusted the hue and the saturation like you want, you can go ahead and click OK. But I'm going to go ahead and click Cancel because I decided not to keep that. There's also a background layer on every template. You're going to have a background layer you can also edit as well. So let's jump over to another template.